Let me ask you a question. What would your life look like if you made $10,000 an hour? Not 10,000 a month, not 10,000 a week, $10,000 every single hour you choose to work. Most people think that kind of income is only for celebrities, CEOs, or people who got lucky. But I'm here to tell you, this is not about luck. This is about leverage, value, and strategy. And once you understand these principles, you can change your income forever. Most people believe money comes from time, but that belief is the biggest financial trap in modern economics. Let me give you a hook right now. If your income depends on your hours, your income has a ceiling, and ceilings destroy. Dreams, in economic terms, time-based income has diminishing returns because every human has the same fixed resource, 24 hours. When you sell your time, you are participating in a low scalability economic model. But when you sell value, you enter a high growth, high leverage economic system where your income is no longer limited by your personal effort. Value creation is a true currency of wealth. In the marketplace, buyers don't pay for effort. They pay for outcomes, solutions, convenience, and transformation. A person who writes one book, builds one software tool, creates one course, or develops one powerful system can generate income repeatedly without repeating the work. That's the economic power of non-rival goods. Products that can be consumed by millions without being depleted. Here's the hook. You can get paid once for effort, or you can get paid forever for value. Wealthy individuals choose the second option. When you understand this principle, you stop asking, how many hours should I work? And start asking, how much value can I create and distribute? In economics, this is a difference between labor income and scalable income. Labor income is linear. Scalable income is exponential. If you create a product that solves a massive problem, the market will reward you in proportion to the scale of impact, not the scale of effort. That's why a single idea can be worth millions or even billions of dollars. Another hook. Your paycheck reflects your position in the value chain, not your hard work. People at the bottom of the value chain perform tasks. People at the top design systems, brands, and strategies. The closer you are to creating, owning, and distributing value, the higher your earning potential. Economics rewards creators, innovators, and strategists because they control the flow of value. This is why entrepreneurs, investors, authors, and content creators can earn extraordinary income in short periods. They are not selling hours, they are selling assets, ideas, and leverage. The moment you shift your mindset from trading time to multiplying value, you move from an employee economy to an ownership economy. And that shift is the first real step toward making $10,000 an hour. Leverage is the invisible force behind every massive fortune. And here's the hook. Without leverage, even the hardest worker stays average. With leverage, even one person can outperform 1,000. In economics, leverage means using tools, systems, capital, and people to multiply output without multiplying effort. It is the reason some individuals earn in minutes what others earn in months. When you apply leverage, you are no longer operating as a single unit of production. You become a scalable economic engine. Technology is one of the most powerful forms of leverage in modern economics. A single piece of software, a YouTube video, a digital course, or an automated system can reach millions of users at near zero marginal cost. That means every additional customer costs almost nothing to serve, but each one generates revenue. This is the economic magic of scalability. Here's the hook. When your cost stays the same, but your reach multiplies, your profit explodes. That is why tech founders and digital entrepreneurs can generate extraordinary income with small teams. Human leverage is another key factor. Teams, partnerships, outsourcing, and networks allow you to multiply productivity. Instead of doing everything yourself, you design systems and delegate execution. Economically, this shifts you from being a worker in the system to being the architect of the system. Architects get paid more because they control the structure that produces value. One leader with 1,000 people working in alignment can create 1,000 times more output than one person working alone. Capital leverage also plays a critical role. When you invest money into businesses, stocks, or assets, you allow capital to work on your behalf. In economics, capital earns returns through interest, dividends, and appreciation. This is why wealthy individuals focus on acquiring assets rather than consuming liabilities. Money that works for you is more powerful than money you work for. Leverage also includes media and influence. A personal brand, an audience, or a distribution channel gives you access to markets instantly when people trust your message. Your products and ideas can spread rapidly, creating network effects where each new user increases the value of your platform. In economic terms, this creates increasing returns to scale. When you combine technology, people, capital, and media, you create a leverage stack. This stack allows 1 hour of your strategic thinking to produce thousands of dollars in economic output. And once leverage is built, it continues producing results even when you step away. That is the economic blueprint behind earning $10,000 an hour. High-income skills are the economic upgrade that separates average earners from elite earners. And here's the hook. Your bank account is a reflection of your skill set, not your effort. In economics, this is called human capital. The knowledge, abilities, and expertise that increase your productivity and earning power. Just like machines and factories increase production, skills increase your economic value in the marketplace. The more rare and in demand your skills are, the more the market is willing to pay you. Most people invest years in education but never invest strategically in skills that directly generate income. The marketplace doesn't reward degrees. It rewards results. Skills like sales, persuasion, marketing, negotiation, investing, leadership, and strategic thinking have high economic elasticity, meaning a small improvement in skill can lead to a massive increase in income. One great sales conversation can be worth more than a month of salary. One marketing strategy can be worth millions. That is the compounding power of high-income skills. Here's another hook. Skills are assets that can be taxed, stolen, or inflated away. You can lose money, businesses, and opportunities, but skills stay with you forever. Economically, skills are portable capital. They allow you to move across industries, markets, and countries while maintaining your earning power. That is why the richest individuals are lifelong learners. They continuously upgrade their human capital. High-income skills also scale. When you master communication, leadership, or digital marketing, you can apply them to multiple businesses, products, and platforms. This creates economies of scope, where one skill generates multiple income streams. A skilled marketer can sell products, build brands, grow audiences, and consult companies, all from the same core ability. One skill, multiple revenue channels. The marketplace rewards people who solve expensive problems. If you fix a small problem, you earn small money. If you solve a billion-dollar problem, you earn billion-dollar rewards. Skills determine the size of problems you can solve. That's why surgeons, investors, consultants, and entrepreneurs earn exponentially more than routine workers. They operate in high-stakes, high-value problem spaces. When you intentionally invest in high-income skills, you are upgrading your position in the economic hierarchy. You move from being replaceable labor to being scarce talent. And scarcity is what drives price. In the economy of opportunity, skills are the currency that buys freedom, influence, and wealth. Ownership is the dividing line between income and wealth. And here's the hook. Employees get paid once, owners get paid forever. In economics, wages are a linear form of income, while assets generate recurring and compounding returns. When you rely only on wages, your earning potential is capped by your position, your employer, and the hours you can work. But when you own assets, You participate in the economic growth of markets, businesses, and systems, allowing your income to grow even when you're not actively working. Assets are anything that puts money into your pocket on a recurring basis. Businesses, stocks, real estate, intellectual property, digital products, and royalties all fall into this category. When you own a piece of a business or a system, you earn from its performance, not from your personal effort. You can't scale your hours, but you can scale your ownership. That is why wealthy individuals focus on building and acquiring assets instead of just increasing salaries. Here's another hook. Consumers buy things once. Owners earn from things forever. Most people spend their income on liabilities that depreciate. Cars, gadgets, luxury items. While wealthy individuals allocate capital to assets that appreciate or produce cash flow. In economic terms, this is the difference between consumption and capital formation. Capital formation increases future income. Consumption reduces future earning power. Ownership also provides economic security and control. When you own assets, you are less vulnerable to job loss, inflation, or economic downturns because your income comes from multiple sources. Diversified asset ownership reduces risk and increases financial resilience. Investors call this risk-adjusted return, where you structure ownership to maximize income while minimizing exposure. Intellectual property is one of the most powerful modern assets. A book, a course, a patent, a brand, or a digital platform can generate revenue repeatedly at near zero cost. This is why creators, authors, and entrepreneurs can earn extraordinary income long after the initial work is done. You build once, you get paid many times. Ownership also shifts your economic role from labor provider to capital allocator. Instead of asking for raises, you earn distributions, dividends, and equity growth. Equity is where exponential wealth is created. A small ownership stake in a growing system can be worth more than decades of salary. This is why founders, early investors, and shareholders capture the majority of wealth in the economy. When you prioritize ownership, you align yourself with economic growth itself. As markets expand, businesses scale, and innovation increases, your assets increase in value. That is how ownership turns income into wealth and effort into legacy. Income is a direct reflection of the problems you solve. And here's the hook. Small problems pay small money. Massive problems pay massive money. In economics, the marketplace is a problem-solving engine. Consumers, businesses, and governments constantly face challenges, inefficiencies, and unmet needs, and they are willing to pay anyone who can provide solutions. Your earning potential is determined not by how busy you are, but by how valuable your solutions are to people who can afford to pay. Demand drives price, and price determines income. When a problem affects millions of people or involves high financial stakes, the willingness to pay increases dramatically. This is why industries like healthcare, finance, technology, and consulting generate enormous revenues. They address complex, high-cost problems where even a small improvement can save or generate millions of dollars. If your solution saves a company $1 million, they will gladly pay you $100,000. That is basic economic logic. Here's another hook. The market doesn't care how hard you tried, it cares how well you solved the problem. Effort is invisible in economics. Outcomes are everything. This is why innovators, strategists, and entrepreneurs earn more than routine workers. They identify gaps in the market and create solutions that scale across many users. When you solve a problem once and distribute the solution widely, you create recurring revenue with minimal additional cost. Problem solving also determines your position in the value chain. People who solve operational problems are paid wages. People who solve strategic problems are paid fees. People who solve systemic problems are paid equity. As you move up the problem hierarchy, from execution to strategy to system design, your compensation increases exponentially. Designers of systems get paid more than operators of systems. Market research and understanding consumer behavior are critical in this process. Economics teaches that value is subjective. People pay for what they perceive as valuable. When you understand what people want, fear, or desire, you can create solutions that meet those needs and command premium prices. This is why branding, marketing, and psychology play a major role in economic success. Scarcity also increases value. If few people can solve a particular problem, the price rises. Specialized knowledge, rare expertise, and innovative solutions create economic scarcity, allowing you to charge higher fees. When your skills are rare, your income becomes premium. When you position yourself as a high-level problem solver, you transition from selling labor to selling outcomes. Outcomes are scalable, repeatable, and highly valued. And in the economics of wealth, solving big problems is the fastest way to earn big money. Compound growth is a silent force that turns ordinary income into extraordinary wealth. And here's the hook. Most people chase big wins, but the wealthy build systems that grow even when they do nothing. In economics, compound growth refers to the process where returns generate additional returns over time, creating exponential expansion, whether applied to money, skills, audiences, or businesses. Compounding transforms small beginnings into massive outcomes. Think about compound interest in finance. When you reinvest your earnings, your money earns money, and then that money earns more money. Over time, growth accelerates not linearly but exponentially. The first dollars are the hardest, but the last dollars come the fastest. This is why early investment and reinvestment are so powerful. The longer your capital compounds, the less effort you need to produce large results. Compound growth also applies to skills. Every new skill builds on the previous one, increasing your productivity and market value. When you combine skills like communication plus marketing plus leadership, you create a rare and powerful skill stack. Each skill amplifies the others, producing multiplicative returns. One skill adds income, but multiple skills multiply income. This is the economics of human capital compounding. Audiences and networks also compound. When you build a brand, a channel, or a community, every new follower increases the reach and credibility of the entire system. Network effects occur when each new user increases the value of the platform for all users. This is why social platforms, marketplaces, and communities grow explosively once they reach a tipping point. Your audience today becomes your income engine tomorrow. Businesses compound through systems and reinvestment. Profits reinvested into marketing, technology, and talent to create larger systems that produce even more profit. This creates a feedback loop where growth fuels more growth. In economics, this is called increasing returns to scale, where larger systems become more efficient and more profitable as they expand. Compound growth also applies to reputation and trust. Every successful transaction, every piece of content, and every positive interaction builds credibility. Over time, trust compounds into authority, and authority converts into premium pricing. Trust is an invisible asset that compounds faster than money. The key insight is that compounding requires patience, consistency, and reinvestment. Most people quit before compounding takes effect because early growth looks slow. But once compounding kicks in, progress becomes unstoppable. The wealthy understand that exponential growth is built on small daily actions that accumulate over time. And in the economics of wealth creation, compounding is the ultimate multiplier that turns strategy into scale and effort into exponential income. Let me close with this. Making $10,000 an hour is not about being special. It's about being strategic. It's about learning leverage, mastering high-value skills, creating massive value, and owning assets. You already have what it takes. The question is, are you willing to think bigger, act bigger, and build something that works even when you're not working? Because the moment you stop trading time for money, You stop being limited by time. And that is when your income and your life can truly become unlimited.